Okay, welcome everyone. Today's webinar session is pertaining to implementation and management of data integrity. My name is Danielle DeLucy, and as you can see on the slides, I have over 15 years experience in the quality management arena. I've done positions all the way from a bench microbiologist all the way up to director of product quality, releasing batches for one of the largest biologics manufacturers in the U.S. So I have a lot of experience dealing with data integrity, with deviations, with change controls, CAPA. Really, my career has touched quite a number of quality systems. Today, we'll be going over a lot of different aspects of data integrity and how it will impact your firm and how you do your day-to-day activities. I currently am assisting companies with warning letters, consent decrees, really anybody who comes to me who really needs help in their quality management system. I'm consulting with them and hopefully making their quality management systems that much more robust. So that's a little bit about me. We'll go through the scope and agenda for today's training. First and foremost, we'll go over some regulatory requirements related to data integrity. We'll also go through some common data integrity issues. Just a word for the wise, this webinar is really based and kind of focused on data integrity for the laboratory and manufacturing areas, operation areas. I see a lot of FDA observations and regulatory observations related to data integrity in the laboratory and the operations area still, even though there's so much information and guidelines out there. We do touch a little bit on IT issues as well, so if you're looking for some help with the information technology or computer type issues, we do touch on that as well. We'll also go through how process flow mapping can help you with a data integrity process and procedure and how you can implement that at your firm. And we'll go over some criteria for what data integrity should look like, what should be contained in your standard operating procedures, and really how you can make your processes that much more robust and compliant based on a good data integrity practices. And then we'll close out the webinar with some data integrity citations that I found in warning letters issued by FDA. It's always nice to kind of come full circle at the end of a webinar to kind of oversee what we have learned today and see how companies who may have not followed some of the things that we had talked about in today's webinar, how that fared for them and how the FDA really picked up kind of on their shortcomings in this type of practice. So a quick comic strip that I like to share in this data integrity webinar. We have two scientists at the lab bench, and one is saying to the other, "I already wrote the paper. That's why it's so hard to get the right data." And although it's kind of making fun of data integrity and logging your data contemporaneously or in real time, it's really trying to hit home the idea that sometimes this actually happens in laboratories or in manufacturing areas where you're already recording data, and you're hoping that you're getting the right answer. You're not following the rules of recording data in real time. Perhaps you've been in a specific job function for quite a long time. You always get the same answer day in and day out. So on this day today, what would it matter if I just wrote that value, because I know 100% of the time it always spits out the same data. So it's a little bit kind of a play on what we're talking about today, but in all seriousness, recording data in real time is one of the cornerstones of proper data integrity. When we talk about data integrity, we're talking about how the firms are used to being audited. Most companies have experience being audited. And it's the same type of situation where you defend your work that you've carried out in the lab or in the operations area. Historically, laboratories have tended to provide, common information about your validation of your methods, your procedures, qualification and suitability of your equipment, making sure that the inspector sees that your staff is trained appropriately, and all of that put together is justification for the validity of your results. And that goes for your operations area as well. You're showing your method is validated, your procedure, your equipment is qualified, it's calibrated, and your operators are trained. But now, in today's day and age, when you're getting inspected by FDA or other regulators, such as in the United Kingdom, they have the MHRA and other regulatory bodies, they kind of are looking at this defense approach as not enough. When they come in and they focus an audit based on data integrity, their emphasis has moved away from providing information just based on technical justification and scientific rationale to more providing evidence that your results are not fraudulent. So when you look at it, it's more of you're guilty until proven innocent. That's not really the historical nature of audits, if you will. If you're not prepared for some type of an audit like this, it will get kind of uncomfortable at worst, and it could present a high risk to the organization. They can come in and really have you prove that you're doing the right things, you're not fudging the data, you're following all of the data integrity rules. So it's a little bit more than just showing that your people are trained, they're highly skilled, your equipment's qualified, and your procedure is validated. FDA warning letters and some changes in the MHRA regulations have highlighted how data integrity really has become a very important topic both in the laboratory and in the operations area. A lot of times firms will get kind of concerned about when these regulators are doing a data integrity focused audit. And then even when we talk about data integrity, many times firms have very different definitions of what data integrity actually is. They have a different interpretation, they have a different meaning, and there's not a lot to go on when it comes to data integrity. So it's very important for a firm to have a strong data integrity standard operating procedure, have strong training, and have a policy and procedure on how their